everybody. It's Monday, December 17th, and we've just had a weekend to reflect on the terrible tragedy that happened in Connecticut, where 26 people were killed, 20 of them being first graders, and it just was a horrific event that we're all kind of in shock and mourning. And I'm going to talk to my freshman class today about how they're feeling about it, their perspective, and what it means really, what it means to us. So I'm going to ask for anybody that's in the room that wants to say something, or in this room, and just share your feelings and your experiences. Okay? So let's start off with somebody.
Yeah, hi, this is Chloe. I think it's, really upsetting how many, this guy's, I don't even understand why he did that. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, it's beyond understanding. Obviously, it's a very deranged person, and why he resorted to that, we'll never know the full story. So, yeah, you ask these questions, but I think it's beyond human understanding why something like this could happen. But the problem is, this has happened frequently in the last couple of years here in the United States. And we have to ask the question, what's happening with our, is there a problem intrinsically with our society? This doesn't seem to happen in too many other countries, though it has happened. And Germany and Norway and specifically. But I really, it's hard to grasp. It's hard to put your logic around this, and it's just you just don't know where to go with it. Okay, so let's hear from some others.
I give my condolences to all the families, and it's just really sad. There's no other way to put it. It's just sad, and there's no motive behind why he would do this. And especially now during the holidays, the sad part is that they probably had the Christmas presents, they had the tree, and it's just really sad.
Yeah, it's very sad, and as President Obama said so eloquently, that these people they were just 7 years old. They had their whole life in front of them. They were going to have children, get married eventually at some time. That's all was taken away from them. Makes no sense, and just something that defies logic, really, or understanding. Somebody else.
Well, personally, I'm already not much of a fan of the government and its security of our country. To me, it is really sad. It only now raises the question, is our country really as safe as we think? Because I know our government mostly focused on terrorist security, but now what about our schools? What about the inside threats? Now it's are our schools safe, just putting a bunch of people who are not really good at protecting? Because if someone's going to show up at your school with a gun and you have two men standing outside your school unarmed to protect the school, what do you think is going to happen? It just raises the question, are we really safe?
Well, he broke in through a window, didn't he? I think he
went
through a window. He didn't go through the front.
It shows even less how the security quality of our schools is in this country.
You think it's lacking? Seriously lacking.
Yes.
You may be right. Obviously, we're not protecting our schools the way that they should be protected.
His mother also kept.
She was
he
a
killed
rifle.
his mother
Yeah.
too.
And I believe that the weapons were registered under her name.
Yeah.
They were. I think all of them, or 2 out of the 3, were registered under her name.
Which also raises the question: should everybody in this country be eligible over the age of 18 to have an armed weapon?
He was 20. He couldn't even go into a bar and have a drink legally, but he could buy a gun.
because 18 and up, you're allowed to have a permit for a gun, but it raises the question, can anybody have a gun? If you're not trained to have one, if you're not a FBI agent or a trained policeman, should you have a gun in your possession?
Because there's a difference between owning an assault rifle, because that was one of the weapons he used. Okay.
But any of those could be used against someone.
Exactly.
Anyone. Any gun that you put to your head can kill you.
Exactly.
It's a gun. It's not a butter knife.
Yeah, well, we've been trying, probably unsuccessfully, because the NRA is such a powerful lobbyist, the NRA being National Rifle Association, to try to pass some of these gun laws, at least prohibited assault weapons. But, every time something like this happens, we're going to do something, we're going to change the gun laws, and nothing is ever done, really. And I hope the president really leads on this and gets some gun law passed that really have an impact.
And
You can't. What?
He's a father. God forbid that was his children.
Well, he said
he
that.
He would have passed a law against guns.
Well,
a year ago.
that's not fair to say that. I mean, he has tried, I think, but he realizes it along with other people that this is unacceptable. It can't be tolerated, as he says, and something has to be done, and it has to be done soon. And or I don't know if you can prevent something like this happening. How do you protect? There's so many schools, and there's really not a lot, but there are very significant amount of very deranged people out there, and not balanced, and a lot of the people from the NRA are saying it's people kill people, not guns. So that's their argument. But
guns are an accessory to a murder.
Sure. Well, you can't kill somebody as easily.
I can't kill a person with my bare hands. No, I need a weapon.
Wow.
Or I need to be John Cena.
That's possible.
You could.
John Cena. All right. Somebody else. Christian and Victoria, what do you think?
My personal opinion is it's sad what happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's tragic. It's
right.
Gives you the question, what has this world come to?
Mm-hmm.
What is our society if this is what we have to look at?
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you have to look at the fact that he had a disease. He had Asperger.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's different opinions on it. If you put it, could you blame it on his disease? Could you blame it on his upbringing? Could you blame it on, his motive was what? Because he was angry at his mother?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they should get more in depth to the reason why, because I don't feel that someone would just randomly go out and kill all these children. There had to be a certain form of rage and reason to why he wanted to do this.
Didn't he kill his girlfriend or something too?
I heard he
Because they
killed
found
his father.
2 dead bodies in his apartment in Hoboken.
Well, he wasn't from Hoboken. It was from Newton, Connecticut. His brother was from Hoboken. We had nothing to do with it.
In his apartment, they found 2 dead bodies.
Brother?
No, the guy who killed the kid. They found 2 dead bodies
Mm-hmm.
in his apartment.
I didn't hear that.
And they're saying it could have been his girlfriend and her friend.
I don't know. I didn't read that story, but they did question his brother who lives in Hoboken, and he had no knowledge of it. So his mother seems to have been a gun fanatic, having dozens of guns in the house. So that contributed.
That raises his interest in the weaponry.
She was a teacher?
A teacher with a collection of guns.
Well,
That's
she
cool.
lived in New Hampshire. She lived in rural areas, and it's just not a teacher. A lot of people have guns in their house for protection.
For protection. But as I said before, anybody at any moment can become a psychopath and go on a rage.
Anybody?
Anybody.
You think anybody? No, I don't think so.
anybody, any white person in the world can go out, take their gun, and shoot anybody in the head 3 times. Anybody. It could happen any moment, every day. It's happening. Right now, people could be getting killed right now. And no one knows. Only because we're not safe.
Well, I don't know if anybody will do that. Hopefully most people have safeguards and have behavior limitations that would prevent them from going there. And but you put an unbalanced person in rage, a person with deep psychological problems, and you have guns around them, it's a recipe for disaster. So, Victoria, we haven't heard from you.
I was on Twitter and I saw that people are saying when they see something like this happen, crazy people watching the news want to top it because we're basically making them famous, and not dying as a nobody. So I think just crazy people are trying to top everything what everybody else is doing.
All right. Yeah. Well, it could be a copycat. They could be copycat. I read some articles in the news today where, some people were not taking action but spouting off verbal things that they were going to do, actions they were going to take, which, copied what was going on up in Newton. So, I don't know. It's hard to grasp, as I said, put your understanding or logic behind it. But it's happened way too often. It's happening way too often. And I saw Mayor Bloomberg on the air yesterday on Meet the Press, and made a lot of sense. And I think maybe we should listen to him. He has some good ideas about gun control and how New York City has a very low, comparatively very low ratio of people using weapons and violence, considering other cities are much higher. And he talked about ways that that is happening in New York and the proactive approach that he's taking in New York City. All right, anybody else? Girls, do you have anything here you want to say? Yael or Anna?
Well, I think that it's what happened is obviously really terrible, and that the school system should try to improve on the safety of the children in the school, because it's not anything to play around with. Because these obviously now we have seen that the children are obviously not safe in school, so the schools really should improve that.
Okay. All right. Well, any further comments?
I wish the families the best. It's something you can cope with, but
right.
I hope them the best, and my prayers go out to them.
Anyone else? Okay. Well, yes. Prayers go out to them. Our condolences, and let's hope it never happens again. This is WHIT Radio.org, the RadioHeads, Freshmen RadioHeads, right here at WHIT Radio.
One voice. It can get the point across, but it only carries so far. Add a voice. It's richer, louder, but that has limits too. Add a third voice. It's even more powerful. Add another, and another, and many, many more. And we are stronger than ever. That's the power of a community coalition. They help community groups